Okay, so now let's talk about what caused the ice ages to happen. And the first thing that could have caused it was the position of the continents. So whenever you have global ocean circulation, so you have the ocean currents and they can go completely around the earth unhindered, then you tend to have moderate climates. But whenever those ocean currents are blocked, then that triggers an ice age. So, for example, the continent that came before Pangaea was called Rodinia, the supercontinent. So that was the supercontinent that existed before Pangaea. And Pangaea blocked the ocean global currents, and so that triggered a global ice age. And that ice age might have been so severe that the entire Earth might have been covered in a sheet of ice that was like 40 miles thick. So we'll talk later about that. So what this picture here shows is the locations of the continents during different parts of geological time. And so currently, North America and South America are connected by the Isthmus of Panama. And so as soon as those two continents collided and came together, that shut off the global ocean circulation. And so we think that that could have been a trigger for the ice ages. Okay, another possibility is, what do volcanoes do, and then what do plants do? So volcanoes produce lots of carbon dioxide. Carbon dioxide is a greenhouse gas. It helps to trap heat. So the more that volcanoes erupt, the more carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, and the warmer the climate is going to be. But if volcanoes produce less carbon dioxide, then the cooler the climate is going to be. Another thing that volcanoes produce is aerosols. So they're going to produce a lot of dust and ash that can block sunlight. And so if the sunlight is blocked, again, it's going to be cooler. But what do plants do? So plants photosynthesize, and so they remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere, and also oceans remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and turn it into limestone. So these processes either remove carbon dioxide or produce carbon dioxide, which can change the climate of the Earth. Okay, another thing is the thermohaline circulation of the oceans. So when we talked about the oceans, we said that there were surface currents and then there were deep currents. And then those deep currents were going to be produced by temperature changes and also by changes in salt content. And so if those global ocean currents are disrupted, that might trigger an ice age. Okay, then you also have Earth's albedo. And so albedo is the reflectivity of something. So that if you have a patch of ice, then that is going to reflect sunlight back into outer space. So that's going to make the Earth colder. If the Earth gets colder, it's going to snow more. And so then that means that this patch of ice is going to get bigger. If this patch of ice gets bigger, it's going to reflect more sunlight, which is going to make it colder. So once you get an ice age going, it tends to get worse and worse and worse. Okay, another possible trigger is the solar output of the sun. So the sun gives off energy, but that energy fluctuates. So it has a 22-year cycle in which the sun gives off more energy, and then it gives off less energy, and then it gives off more energy again. And so that takes 22 years for that cycle to complete. And so maybe that is a triggering mechanism. So if the sun is not giving off as much energy, it's going to be colder. Okay, another thing is the tilt of the Earth. So the Earth is currently tilted at a 23-degree angle. And so that's what causes the seasons. If the sun is over here and the earth is tilted like this, then this is summertime in the northern hemisphere and it's winter time in the southern hemisphere. However, over many, many thousands of years, so this has a 40,000 year cycle, the earth tilts more and the earth tilts less. And so it can change by as much as 5 degrees. So instead of being at a 23-degree angle, it might go all the way down to a 28-degree angle. And then it might tilt back to an 18-degree angle. So if the earth tilts more, then that means the seasons are going to be more severe. It's going to be more hot during the summertime, and it's going to be more cold during the winter time. And so maybe this is a trigger for ice ages. Another thing is the orbit of the earth as it goes around the sun. Sometimes it's more circular, and sometimes it's more stretched out into a ellipse. And this has a 100,000 year cycle. So if the earth was more circular, then there would be less change in the weather. If, on the other hand, the earth's orbit was more elliptical, then when the earth was out here, it would be colder, and when the earth was in closer, it would be hotter. So when will the next ice age occur? So what scientists have done is that they have taken all of these different patterns and they have combined them into one pattern, and then they've tried to see how they interact with each other, and they have come up with these kinds of cycles. And as you can see, sometimes the Earth's temperature is hotter, so the graph goes up, and sometimes the temperature goes lower, and so then it gets colder, and then that would be an ice age. So for the last 1.6 million years of Earth's history, the Earth has been getting hotter, colder, hotter, and colder again. And every time it gets colder, it triggers one of these ice ages to happen. So currently, we happen to be in the middle of one of the warm spells. So we are in between ice ages. We think that ice ages occur about every 10,000 years. And as you can see, some ice ages are not as bad as others. So sometimes the graph really dips down low, and that would be a severe ice age. But sometimes it doesn't. So the ice ages have been occurring about every 10,000 years for the past 1.6 million years, and are going to really continue to do so until the Isthmus of Panama breaks apart. And when that occurs, and then you get your global ocean currents again, then the ice ages are pretty much going to go away for a while until the continents come back together again. Okay, let's take a quiz over what you have learned, and we'll do that in our final segment.